Hello, hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited today because husband gets home this afternoon. So I am going to put my face on, and I just thought today I would tell you guys about some of the books I have been reading and my favorite ones, because as horizontal homies, we do spend a lot of time laying down, watching TV, reading, listening to podcasts and books and things. I use Audible a lot. So I thought it would be nice to share with you some of my favorite things to watch, listen to, movies and things. But today I'll just talk about the books that I like while I'm doing my face. Okay, let's start with my moisturizer. I'm just using a new one by Clinique. It's a almost finished bottle of the Dramatically Different Hydrating Jelly. Let's start with the first book that I really have been enjoying. It's called Rise Sister Rise by Rebecca Campbell. This book, it sounds dramatic, but it really changed my life. It's a beautifully written book, and it just goes into manifestation, the power of sisterhood. It's taught me a new way of meditating that I just love, which is sitting and repeating a phrase or affirmation over and over again. And I really attribute that technique to how my life has changed, because once I started doing that, all of a sudden I was living in Bali. I had gone from being stuck in a room basically, thinking there was no hope for me, and now I'm living in a villa in Bali. I'm doing uni and have a much better outlook on life. So I actually have been a little bit slack with that in the past few months, getting busy with university and things, but yesterday I got straight back into it, and it just feels really amazing, because chanting the same thing over and over, it almost becomes automatic after a little while, and another little voice pops in. And that's kind of how I got in touch with my soul and used my soul pool to come to Bali, and obviously with the help of my husband, who's amazing. And yeah, so she just also goes into the history of sisterhood, why it's so important to have a tribe of women, and how to help other sisters rise, I guess. It's just so beautiful. There's music in the background, and I've listened to it 3 times. That's how much I love it, and I just get something new out of it every single time. Okay, I'm just going to do my brows. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Pomade in Soft Brown. One brow done. Oops, messed that one up. When I do mess up, this tail's a little bit dodgy, so I just kind of use a Q-tip or a cotton bud, whatever you call it, to tidy it up a little bit. To make sure all of my little hairs are in place in my eyebrows, I just go over them with Too Faced Brow. The label is worn off, so Too Faced Brow, oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it's got like little fibers in it to make them look a little bit more fluffy and natural. So I'm going to do my eyeshadow next. But before I do my eyeshadow, I just put some of this Benefit Boing Airbrush Concealer. Just use my finger to put that on my eyelids. Alright, let's do some eyeshadow. The next book I'd like to tell you about is called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's obviously all about the power of habit. and it's been really interesting to see how much the little habits you have in your life. I am definitely a creature of habit, and I love having a set routine every day. If I don't have my set morning routine, my whole day is out of whack, and I just feel very flustered, not in touch with myself, and I just feel very lost. So The Power of Habit, the book, really helped me to understand why it's so important to have these little routines and habits in my life, and it kind of backed up what I was already doing. But yeah, I really recommend that book. It's really well written. It kind of gives you case studies and stories about people who have changed their life through the power of habit, and yeah, I really loved it. I got a lot out of that book. It's very straightforward, no woo-woo business. It's just to the point. I just put some salted caramel from the Too Faced chocolate bar palette on my eyeballs. And the next book I am reading at the moment, still currently reading, is called Lost Connections by Johan Hari. I think that's how we pronounce it. I might be getting these authors' names wrong, but you'll forgive me, I'm sure. Just going in with some hazelnut on top. I'm just kind of doing a natural browning kind of thing. I think I'm not really having a plan, I'm just going for it. So Lost Connections is about the causes of depression and anxiety. As somebody who does deal with depression and anxiety, it's been really interesting and helpful to see other perspectives of where depression and anxiety comes from and why people have it. At the start of the book, he explains his own situation with depression and anxiety, explains how he was just prescribed pills and told that depression and anxiety is a problem in your brain and that's how it should be treated. But then he goes and studies people all over the world to find out how people in different countries treat and assess depression and anxiety, and he kind of finds out that it's more from a situational situation for a lot of people all over the world, and he discovers that actually prescribing connection can be a really big help for depression and anxiety. So I haven't finished that one yet, but so far it's really interesting. He uses a lot of science to back up what he says, a lot of evidence from all over the people that he's talking to all over the world. So yeah, it's a really interesting one. I know personally my depression and anxiety comes a lot from my health issues and my lifestyle because of that. So yeah, I would say mine's more situational, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing that book off. Just adding some hot chocolate. It's spelled H-A-U-T-E, so I'm assuming it's pronounced hot. I just go over it with like a clean brush to blend it all in. Oh my goodness, the next book has been my favorite one that I've read recently. It's so good. It is called Everything is Beep, a Book of Hope by Mark Manson, who first wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Beep. I loved that book so much. I'm going to read it again. It was so good. So he it's hard to explain. So he uses a lot of philosophers' teachings, which is really interesting for me because I study philosophy at uni now. He explains hope in a different way that I think many people define it as, and yeah, it's really hard to explain how good it is, but it's just, the way he writes is just hilarious. He makes it really entertaining, and I'm going to listen to it again. I listen to all of these books on Audible, by the way. I don't have the concentration to read an actual book. I'll just sit there and read the same sentence with like so many times, and it just gets frustrating. I'm gonna do a little bit of brow highlight with champagne truffle. I'm going going to do my foundation now. I'm using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I got this a few months ago and it's so nice. Recently I changed to a different brush. Normally I was using a brush more like this. I've changed to this one and it just doesn't leave those brush marks on my face that I was getting before. Bronzer or blush, I use the Ofra. I think the name of it is Format. Odd name for a brush or bronzer, but oh well. Nearly done. Next book I want to tell you about is one I read quite a while ago now, called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. This was a really amazing book and it came to me just at the right time, I feel. It's all about stoicism and using like troubles and dramas or troubles and obstacles in your life to grow, to see them as a positive and to kind of work through them and better yourself through the not so great things that happen to you. So it came to me at such a beautiful and perfect time, which I feel lots of things do. And yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I think he has another book. I haven't read that one yet, but I really did enjoy his writing style. So I'm going to try and get his next book, which I can't remember the name of right now. It's a good way to change looking at things from like, why is this happening to me? And instead like, okay, this is happening for me. So I really liked that. It helped with my perspective change on things and was really helpful. So that's a goodie. So I just put a little bit of eyeshadow underneath my eyes there. Just a little bit of framing of the eyeballs. Next is everybody's favorite, the highlight. I've got this cute little palette. So I'm going to just go with the more, it's called Light Year and Galactic. It's kind of more the warmer tones. I'm just going to use the viewfinder as my mirror because this one doesn't come with a little mirror in it. Sure, that'll work. You can never have too much highlight. And I use a little bit of a lighter one just on the tip of my nose. My Cupid's bow. Perfecto. Keeping my hair a la natural. I'll just pin a little bit back. Go clip a little bit back with my little claw thingy here. Go. I think that will do for now. I can't really see properly because I'm using my viewfinder as my mirror. The Miracle Morning by Hal Rod. This was another one that was really helpful for setting up a morning routine, and I truly believe that having a set morning routine every day just changes your life and gives you lets you start your day with control, lets you center yourself. Your miracle morning can be anything that you want it to be. I have changed mine a few times over since I read it, and I think I read that book early 2018, so over a year ago, and I have changed my morning routine here and there, but basically I wake up. As soon as I wake up, I put on my meditation app. I've got one called Stop, Breathe, Think, so it actually asks you how you're feeling that day and then gives you meditations that will kind of help with how you're feeling on that specific day. So I do that. That's usually about 5-10 minutes just as I'm waking up. Then I have a little app in my phone called Gratitude Journal, where I write something that I'm grateful for the day, and after that I And after that, I use my Duolingo app to study my Indonesian, because now that I'm living in Bali, I want to learn the language and be able to talk to people. This makes it a lot easier, and I feel like it lights up a part of my brain, and starting my day with that just makes me feel like I've already accomplished something. I'm actually on a 183-day streak today, so proud of myself. After my Duolingo, I get up, usually have a coffee. Before all that, I have my medication so that I can get up. Then I make a coffee, I sit outside with my dog, get some fresh air, and kind of just take in and feel like really happy about where I am. Usually also feel stiff and sore because that's just my life. And then after that is kind of just depending on the day. I try to follow what my body wants intuitively. Sometimes I'll do some yoga, do some stretching, some Pilates, I'll go for a swim, I'll go for a walk down to my favorite little cafe that has all these yummy juices and yummy food. So normally I'm intermittent fasting, so I'll just go and get a juice, even though that technically does not count as breaking my fast, but I have a little juice outside. I usually then write a little to-do list for the day, and reading The Miracle Morning really helped me to understand the importance of doing those things every day, having a set routine to put you in the right mind frame for the rest of the day. So highly recommend The Miracle Morning by Hal Rudd. Sorry, just cracking my nail, just cracking my okay, I'm getting to the end of my brain functioning now, so I will go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful Sunday, and I will see you next week. I hope you liked learning about these books, and I think I'm going to do a little series of this, telling you about the podcasts I like, my favorite movies, TV shows. I love me some true crime and some documentaries, so I'll go through all of those in the upcoming videos. Alrighty, have a beautiful day and bye.